Now we can talk about Mario Odyssey. Good lord, is it a good game? Now this is basically a review of the main campaign because, yeah, right? Because I just beat the game. I beat the game with 350 moons or something stupid like that. I think I have 420, roughly about that now. And wow, did I enjoy the ride getting there? And there's so much to talk about with Mario Odyssey and what I love about 3D platformers, which is the collecting. I'm a big Banjo-Kazooie fan. I love finding all the Jinjos and finding all the pieces, and then you're going in the hub world and you're like, I need 3 more pieces to get this. I loved that growing up, and it's shaped me as a psychopath. So I love what Mario Odyssey did in the collectathon idea, because it's so damn smart. What they did, we'll start with the coins. So they have coins, right? The normal coins. And those are just freaking coins. Who cares? They're just coins. You can collect them, you don't have to collect them, right? They serve as your lives. You lose 10 when you die. Who cares? You have thousands of them. It doesn't matter. They're for buying crap. So they took away that to be, it's not your health like it was in Mario 64. It's not that. And they added in 50 to 100 purple coins specific to each world. So it has that whole collectathon thing but it's scaled back and it's per world. It's not there's 1,000 lums in the entire game, Rayman 2, or 999, depending. It's not like that. They're all sectioned off perfectly. And then what they did was they took away all the extra crap. So and I'll use Banjo-Kazooie as an example. Because in Banjo-Kazooie, you can collect the Mumbo Jumbo tokens. You can collect the Jinjos, which is like 5, or is it 5 or 6? I think 5 in each level. There's the Jiggies, which are the puzzle pieces. There's all these different things. The feathers, those are for your items. But there's all these different things you can collect. And what they did in Mario Odyssey was say, let's just have you collect moons. What do you need? You need moons. And they just decided, let's put moons everywhere. And it's glorious. There are moons just literally falling out of the sky. And it's so good because it's exactly what kind of Breath of the Wild did, where you'd see a mountain or something, go like, what the hell is that over there? Let me go over there and mess with it. And it takes it into the 3D platformer genre. This is, comparisons that they weren't intentionally probably doing, but you'll see something and go like, I'm going to climb that. And you look up there and like, yeah, there's a moon at the top of it. Or you're like, there's this weird thing on the ground. Here we go. This is something. And you're always rewarded with a moon. And I love that. Being constantly rewarded, shocking, is fun. And it doesn't matter that the bulk of this single player campaign, or whatever you want to call it, is pretty easy. It's not crazy. There are a few moments that are definitely more difficult. In the process of 100%ing, I'm pretty close. I have to say that the very moons, what's that? Yeah, most were just, and that was funny too. There's this thing at the end that the Toadette that just gives, it's like, oh, you've done a bunch of things. And I had to sit there for 5 minutes talking to Toadette, and she just gave you more and more moons. Like, you've jumped 500 times. Here's a moon. You've collected you beat the game. Here's a moon. I'm like, all right, Toadette, Jesus. But it is very few moons. Oh, okay. Very few moons were infuriating. Yeah, I agree. There's been a couple like, I don't want to do that. But even, it's so fun to be, because like all these little optional weird doorways that you go into, they all have at least one hidden moon. So you'll be going into them and you're like, okay, that's the goal. That's where it wants me to go. But where doesn't it want me to go? I have to figure that out. And there's one in the Hat Kingdom I was trying to get yesterday that I don't know how to get. And it's like, I know it's in here. I know it's in here, but I don't know where it is. And that's like the only one I'm talking about. But anyway, that's a really cool angle of, now I'm looking around this corner and like, how do I get over there? Because that's the optional moon. Or it's like this trick jump to get the optional moon. Ton of fun. And I love just getting in a world and finding its stuff. I spent hours in the desert area, Tostarina or Tostadas or whatever it's called. I spent so many hours there just exploring, and it's actually one of the areas with one of the most amount of moons in the entire game. And it's just a joy. I think awesome movement. Yeah, I think everything controls super well except for two things. The 2D Mario stuff is phenomenal. And oh my god. It's yeah, I figured it out. But the 2D stuff is great, and like going across walls and like link between worldsing stuff. And some of the stuff they do in the post game that I've seen so far is amazing. I love the 2D stuff. But you can't use the D-pad for one, and for two, it doesn't control like I want it to. It doesn't control like Mario World or even New Super Mario. It just doesn't control right. Not that it's uncontrollable. They just changed the movement enough to where someone who's a psychopath like me and has played hundreds of hours of Mario Maker, this is not the same. And the only other thing with the controls is that the motion controls are garbage. God, I hate them. I know there's some of those things you can do not without the motion controls, but playing this on a Pro controller is so good. But, oh, and you can still do the motion controls on the Pro controller, but it is not fun to do. Motion controls, like, I love I love Galaxy, where you can jump and then do like a little double jump by waggling. That is like all I think motion controls should be. That and aiming. That's it. And it's not like you really need to do all that stuff that often, but it is annoying. I just wish how it controlled like you would expect. Yeah, it is different. Like they give you, it feels like more in-air movement in the 2D Mario stuff. You can kind of turn around more quickly than you could. It's weird. Yeah, I think that is a difference there too, Delphox, where the Joy-Cons being separated would be better, because when you're using a controller that's like combined, even if you're just using the Joy-Con grip with the two controllers in it, I can't throw the hat. Like I could throw the hat, but I'm like throwing everything. If I could just be moving with the left thing and throwing it with the right thing, my things are hands, or my hands are things, that would be better. And I just don't like doing it with the Pro controller. I think it would be fine with the little Joy-Cons, but I'm not going back. The Pro controller is so good. It cannot be understated, overstated. One of those statements. The Pro controller is perfect. This is the best controller they've made since the Wavebird. It is so goddamn good. And like I can do everything, you know, I can do the circle thing with it, and I'm like, I'm trying to do it, but like sometimes it doesn't do it. I'm like, I just don't care. This could be a button or some other way. There's plenty of buttons on this controller. But I mean, we're grasping at straws if I'm like, the motion controls that are optional aren't very good. And I think to me, this is exactly what I'd want, not only from a Mario game, but from like any 3D platformer. It is so damn good. And there's just, not to mention the moons are everywhere. There's those, you know, the best parts of Mario Sunshine where you wouldn't have flood. You'd go into these little challenge rooms. There are so many rooms like that in this game. Like, here's this weird door, go in it and solve its mystery, and a platform over here, and everything is just this bite-sized, delicious cake. Oh my god, is it good. There are phenomenal things to see. The ending, New Donk City's ending is good too, for nostalgia stuff. And I think every single world is really good overall. A couple, I mean, there's ebbs and flows with it, but I want to go back and play it. You know, there's so much to see and do. The fact that you beat the game and what, like a third of the moons are locked away, half the moons are locked away. Yeah, those moons in Sunshine was like, that's like what I remember about that game. You know, I played that game in 2004 or something, right? Haven't played it since. That's what I remember. I remember fighting Bowser Jr. in front of that Ferris wheel. And I remember the stupid squids in that haunted house or whatever on the beach. There's a caterpillar boss. And those optional levels, which were so good. And Galaxy had a ton of them too that were so good. I can't wait to get further into the post game and see kind of these optional worlds you get to go to and all of that, and see what it does, because a couple of the things I've done just so good. And I'm not even a person who has a ton of nostalgia for Mario. Like, I like Mario a lot, but he's not my dude, right? Zelda or Link is my dude. And this is the best. Like, I don't think how anyone could play this game and not say this is the best 3D Mario game. Like, hands down. Not even close. Get those nostalgia goggles off. This is the best 3D Mario game. By a mile. It might be the best Mario game. It is so goddamn good. It's incredible. And I keep... because I want to do the post-game review like later after I beat all the post-game and 100% most of it in like 2 weeks. But man, some of that stuff that happened, some of the moments that happened later, and it's just like, they fucking did it. They fucking did it. Yeah. That's the thing too. Not to spoil it, I don't like Mario 64. I find it very overrated. I have no nostalgia for it at all. I never even really played more than the first level back in the day. I tried to play it somewhat recently, about a year ago. Didn't really like it that much. Played like 3 or 4 worlds. There's something that happens at the end of this game that you can kind of get previewed, and you can get ruined too. But you can get a preview of by going through this little portal. Even seeing that got me. Even hearing those sound effects got me. And I don't care about that game at all. So it knows what it's doing. And it does it damn well. And some of that other stuff in that level is so good. And there's so much left to explore. This is the gift that keeps on giving from Nintendo. This is the perfectly sized... You might be crucified. It's very obvious. I made a video once of and it's a joke, obviously, but it's like the top 5 worst 3D platformers, and I put Banjo-Tooie on the list twice because I fucking hate that game, and I put Mario 64 on it just to be an asshole. I'm not a nice person, and it's a joke. People don't understand jokes. The list has Banjo-Tooie on it twice. It's a fucking joke. Get over it. But anyway, this is a better sized game. I feel like Breath of the Wild has too much going on, in my opinion. Like, it's too big and too spread out. This is focused and honed in on, this is the world where you're doing this. These are the things you're doing. They're all freaking awesome. Every second is awesome. It's like I said, bites of delicious cake. Just cake, cake, cake. It's delicious. While you're here, Delphox, let's talk about the Broodals, which are also a bad thing about the game. I do not like these rabbit people. So they're essentially what the Koopalings were, except the Koopalings are interesting. Oh yeah, if you asked me to name each kingdom, I could. I couldn't because I'm bad at remembering names, but if you told me the name, I would know which one it is. So I see your point. They are very memorable, and they're very distinct. And the Broodals, yes. The Broodals. You start typing about the Broodals. I'll tell you about the Broodals. I just find their design so uninspired and uninteresting. They're just silly rabbits. That didn't mean to be a tricks thing. I don't know. They're just like, why? Why? These could have been the Koopalings. Why couldn't you just do the Koopalings? Again, I don't have that much nostalgia, but I know the Koopalings. This would have been interesting. It could have been them. Why are they rabbits? Is that explained? Is that explained anywhere? Is it in the post game where it's like, oh, the rabbits found Bowser, they're friends now? is this a tie-in with Mario and Rabbids? It just doesn't. The Rabbids are more interesting. They have a fun, I hate it, but they have a fun style about them that is very Rabbids. And the Broodals, I don't get it. It's not like there are other rabbits in the game and you're like, well, the little rabbits you can chase, but I don't get it. I just don't. I don't like it. It's not like it hurts the game at all. I just don't like them. I think their boss designs are good. And that's fine and dandy, but it could have been the Koopalings, man. Yeah, they're the Koopalings in disguise. Ooh, I'd accept that. That would be fine. Is that a spoiler? I would want that. I'd be fine with that. So did I miss a moon there where I could go left? That's what I'm watching this old footage too, to see like what I missed here. And there's so much stuff you can miss. It's everywhere. There's stuff everywhere. I don't really mind the designs that much. To me, they look nice. They look fine. As their wedding planners. Oh, okay. So he like found them to plan the wedding. Bowser's just an idiot. And I don't approve of this man. Too stupid. I just can't. I can't get behind the Rabbids. Or the Brood. Or the Rabbids, really, to be honest. But what about... Like, where's Bowser Jr.? Where's all this stuff? They did... Oh, where are the boos? Oh, shit. Where are the boos? There are no boos. Oh, no. There's a lot of things... And this is similar in line to Breath of the Wild, where I feel like there's a lot of enemies missing, and like mainstay things missing from Breath of the Wild, like the Tektites and even the normal Deku things are weird and not the same, and a bunch of other creatures that I don't remember now because I haven't played the game in months. Likes are gone, etc. There are missing enemies here, I just realized, with the boos. I guess the Cheeps are here. Everything else is here. There's some new things. A bunch of new things, actually, with all the creatures you can capture, which you didn't even talk about. I do like the capture mechanic. I don't mind that it's like, oh, this squiggly dude is here, so obviously you have to use the squiggly dude. I don't mind that. I like getting their new powers and using them. I think that's fine. I wish maybe some of them were a little better, but it's shocking how good some of them are. Like the weird stretchy guy and the weird water dude. Okay. Yeah. And I haven't fought them that many times because I'm assuming some of that's in the post game, which makes sense. Fight them again on the dark side of the moon or something stupid, which I'm gonna go to tonight. Dark side of the moon. It's so good. I'm trying my best to like be negative, but good lord, is it fun. It's so good. And each world has its little things like, oh, these are these flower pots, and you found a seed. And you like find a seed and you run over that flower pot, like toss it in, like, yeah, moons. It turns you into a bloodthirsty moon fiend. And that's awesome. Game's just so goddamn good. No BRB. I'm gonna end the show. You'll be being and I'll be gone. BRB. I'll find you. But it's great. I think that's it. This is one of the Brutals right here. I just don't... I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the Brutus. The Brutus... They're all creative, though. How they fight them is all creative. Really enjoyed it. Great game. I mean, what were my complaints? I don't like rabbit people. And the controls are a little dumb. But they're optional. Those are some good complaints to have. I don't think it's a perfect game. And that's why I want to have like another review after I've done all the post game and kind of see, because half the game's locked away. Or at least I haven't even completed half the game based on how many moons I have. And I'm excited to go do it. So that's the show. I do this every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Twitch.tv/TheGameFanatics. Next week will be something. And something else. And who knows? November is going to be slow for me. Because I don't know. I might Redbox Call of Duty. Just to see what's happening. But I don't know if I do that this week or next week or some week. But it'll be a fun thing. Play some World War II. Go to Redbox. could do that. I think I got a coupon. I'm so cheap. I think I got a coupon for Redbox. Here's the map. The map's really good. I think the map could be better. I think some of the things with all those stars are, I keep wanting to call them stars, all the moons, it could be explained like, oh, this is what you did to get this moon, but it just has its name listed there. Like, oh, that's cool and all. And if you wanted to look up how to get moon 16, you could, so that's nice. But I kind of wish after beating the game it told me where, like, some more clues. I guess I could talk to that parrot guy. Yeah, it tells you. It does it. It does it. It does everything. So that doesn't end the show when it wants to. So I'll do it for it. Great game. Decent map. I think the map really could be better. Oh, another thing too, just real quick. The final bit of, in previous Mario games or in previous games like this, you could get, it's like, oh, you need 30 moons to unlock this door, or 40 moons to unlock this door, right? But if you were collecting, you would have all those moons way ahead of time. They fixed that by having the doors be locked at sensible spots. So it's like, oh, you need 5 moons from here, not 5 more moons in general, which is such a smart decision. There's so much intelligence on display here. Take note, everyone. I want everything to be a 3D platformer in 3 years. So you got 3 years. Last of Us 2, 3D platformer. It can still be violent, but it's got to have some moon collecting. That's all I'm saying. Now, if my mouse would move, we could end the show.